Hello everybody, welcome to today's episode of House of Tallysha. I am Isabel Tallysha-Soares and today we are at school. More precisely, we are at my old school. So many memories, so many years learning and studying in these classrooms. And the reason why I am at school today, at my old school today, is because there's a students' reunion, almost the script of a cheesy movie, but it's an actual students' reunion that we do every single year, and we are so happy about it. Besides, I am joined today by one of those extraordinary students. He was a senior when I was a junior, that went out into the world and came back, and he is now a teacher and a writer. And he has so many things to say that I invited him, and I am so grateful that he accepted the invitation to be joining us today. Well, Jorge da Cunha is a writer on his own, and he is a prolific writer. A Casa do Senhor Andrade, Mr. Andrade's House. This is somewhere between a short story and a novel, and the script is amazing. It happens in only one day, and all the possibilities that unfold in a story that has many characters and covers one day. Jorge also has these Histórias de outros lugares, stories of other places, that stems from a pedagogic project of his own. And so there are stories here which are true gems. One thing that I am fascinated about Jorge da Cunha is the way he writes. He's not afraid of words, and he resurrects words so that they don't fall into forgetfulness. We live in an era when words are some of them are being extinguished, or we don't say them on a daily basis, and Jorge uses them in contexts that are so fabulous and marvelous that they become usual daily words. And I also like O Céu de Irene very much. O Céu de Irene, Irene's sky. This is a game of words with Irene Lisboa, the poet from where we are. We are in Arruda dos Vinhos, and this poet is or was from Arruda dos Vinhos and was a very influential poet in the 20th century. I will have the opportunity to be asking Jorge about her. And this school was actually called the School of Irene Lisboa back in the days when we were students here. It has been rebranded and renamed, but we still pay homage and tribute to Irene Lisboa. Well, Jorge, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for coming. And not so long ago, I heard you say that you consider yourself a local writer. What do you mean by that?
Hi Isabel, thanks for having me on the show. Yes, it's true. I'm a local writer. An author mostly read in local school by friends and in the local communities is a local author. I don't have great ambitions in that respect. I write because I want to, because I like it. And what is local is marvelous.
Jorge, you are also one of the main specialists of the Portuguese poet Irene Lisboa. Irene Lisboa was a poet that is from Arruda dos Vinhos, where we are at this school. And Arruda dos Vinhos has a library with Irene Lisboa's name. This school used to be the School of Irene Lisboa. It has been meantime been rebranded and renamed, but we still pay tribute to Irene Lisboa. She was a pedagogue, she was a poet, she was a writer in her own standing at the time when female writers were scarce and seen on the ground. And so you specialize in Irene Lisboa, and what drove you to study Irene Lisboa? What do you focus on in her work? How did it happen to you? What is her importance in the literary scenario of Portugal in the 20th century?
One of the main specialists is a joke. I'm very interested in the subject, and that's all. I have read and investigated all her work. I have written a lot about her, and especially I have promoted her work. She's the greatest poet of the first half of the 20th century. She was the first great female Portuguese writer of crónicas,
Exactly.
and the most important pedagogue of the first half of last century.
Mm-hmm.
She was born here in Arruda dos Vinhos, and those are great reasons to read her and know more about her.
Talking about Irene Lisboa and her importance, one of your books is precisely a dialogue that you have with Irene Lisboa, The Sky of Irene Lisboa, O Céu de Irene Lisboa. It's a dialogue between you or some narrator and Irene Lisboa. How did that idea happen to you? How did you come about with that idea?
This book is a dialogue with her work and her life. It happened as an introduction to readers who want to immerse in the work of this somewhat strange, difficult and restless but fabulous author of the Portuguese 20th century.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, it's a fascinating book, this dialogue with Irene Lisboa.
Thank you.
And besides being a writer, you are also a teacher. You are also, like Irene Lisboa, you are a pedagogue. And you have been very much interested in dyslexia and this learning difficulty. You have developed your own methodology to help students cope with dyslexia and overcome their learning disabilities. As far as dyslexia goes, what do you consider the panorama right now? Do we still have a long way to go? Are we moving forward? What is the scenario right now as far as dyslexia is concerned?
We still have a long way to go in that area, especially in making teachers understand that dyslexia is not a disease. Their brain has a different way to read, learn and make written material get to it. Dyslexia is not a lack of intelligence, quite the opposite. A young dyslexic sometimes doesn't understand because their reading level isn't adequate to the text. All of this can be worked using multisensorial methodologies. I have great joys in this field. Just like last week, a student of the 12th grade told my wife, "Teacher Jorge saved me." Today I am a good student and I owe it to him and the work we did together. This makes me understand we should continue to invest in this area, in the area of reading.
Yeah. And Jorge, we have to thank you as a community because you have developed your own methodology to help students with dyslexia cope with their learning disabilities. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here at House of Tallysha in our old school. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure too.
And I wish you all the success.
Thank you.
As for us, just let me show you a picture of Irene Lisboa. Here it is. the great pedagogue and poet that has inspired so many of us. And we here in Arruda are so proud that she is, or was, and still is, one of us, and so inspirational. And as a pedagogue, this is an oldie, a precious treasure of pedagogy that she produced, being so interested in teaching young children to be achievers, which is what we want. So she was really innovative in that sense. As for us, well, thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. If you appreciate these contents, subscribe the channel. We hope to see you here every week. For next week, we are a little bit off because I will be inviting you to join us in Alexandria, Louisiana, in the United States. It's going to be quite an interesting, funny video that you are probably not waiting for. So check it out next week. I can only tell you that we will be joined by the cast of Cajun Pawn Stars. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, enjoy, and you know where to find me. I will be waiting for you.